It's just so easy to latch onto an AI boyfriend or AI girlfriend.
But the scary thought is considering that people might actually believe it when it says it has feelings.
Forced it down your freaking throat.
Okay, that's
that this is an emotional film, this is heartfelt, this is authentic.
I have a lot of admiration for somebody really convicted in what they're saying, even if it's wrong.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Not Common Sense podcast, where we talk about not common sense things that Jesus taught, and one of those being the first will be last, and that is the upside down kingdom. Am I right?
You are right.
Yes. And this is an ongoing exploration of our journey as a married couple, but also individually through Christ Jesus. And today, this is episode 8. My name is Josh.
I'm Jess.
And today, what are we talking about? You know what we're talking about.
Temptation, you said.
Temptations, that's
yes.
it.
You walked into the bedroom before and you're like, we're talking about temptation.
I know, okay. Yeah. It's a bit of a heavy topic, but I think I want to marry that a little bit, bit outside of ourselves a little bit, to AI.
Right.
And the rise of AI.
Which I know nothing about. So this will be a very invigorating conversation.
Yeah, I've shown you some stuff, but it's, you don't need to know anything about AI to talk about it for now. It feels like sci-fi is becoming reality at this point.
Well, for you, you're like one of those people that actually knows about what's going on in the tech world.
Yeah, well,
and I don't. I'm pretty much technologically illiterate. So this will be a great conversation.
Yeah, it will be. So temptations in AI. Because what spurred this on was really a thing came out recently, which was an AI company that came out that created an ad where they put their mother into an
you
AI.
showed me that.
Yeah. And it's an ad, so it kind of looks like it's obviously made up. But it seems there is a subsect of humanity that kind of wants to be able to put themselves into a robot AI machine so that their likeness continues on forever and their legacy continues down their bloodline. Which, to me, that sounds like hell.
Well, describe what the ad actually was.
Yeah, so it's a company called 2AI, spelled really weird. Something like that. I don't know. And so it starts off with the daughter talking to the mother on the phone in an AI version of her mother. And this mother is supposedly passed away, deceased.
Yeah.
And then the daughter then shows it to her son, who can also now have conversations with his grandmother.
Yeah,
and
as he ages too. And then he gets older and he's going through all of his life stages.
Yeah. And it cuts to, when he's 30.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and he's still talking to his grandmother. And to me, that sounds really unhealthy.
Yes, super unhealthy.
Yeah.
He's had his entire life, he's had a relationship with an AI version of his grandma because he never knew her when she was alive.
Yeah. And then even the kind of thing that's meant to be kind of heartwarming, which is when the grandmother says on the phone, rub your belly or something and sing it, hum a tune, so that, because that's what I used to do with you. How would the AI know that? First of all, unless that was plugged in. But if I know AI hallucinates a lot, and so if an AI says that, it's kind of just a
regurgitation.
It's a regurgitation of some sort of place that some sort of person that's done that before, and then it's just regurgitated and then place that into that person's tradition. But anyway, that's going into really deep of something that is obviously made up.
Well, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept because what it immediately made me think is people are so terrified of death that they just want to hang on to whatever life they can get.
Yeah.
And that means that they're actually not holding on to life at all.
Yeah.
Which is so odd.
Really odd. And we'll get into that. But another thing I want to point out as well, in the same ad, the reason why I thought it was satirical at first, because at the very end, it shows the daughter filming the mother, and it looks like the contrast of how much more life the mother has when she's being filmed versus like how much life the AI thing has. To me, I couldn't. Within the same ad, you can see the contrast between like what is real life and then what is fake generated life. It's like it's I don't know.
So you thought it was satire.
I thought it was satire for that reason.
And when did you realize it wasn't?
When people started taking it seriously, and then it was a real company.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, this stuff hasn't... It's not new, this stuff. Like, avatars, AI avatars is not new at all. You can put your likeness... I can film you right now and put your likeness online and get you to say stuff. Like, that's pretty normal. That's like, my old job wanted me to do that for our boss. And then right now, there's also Jim's Mowing. If you're in Australia, you know Jim's Mowing. He's also got an AI avatar that you can talk to.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite interesting. So this stuff hasn't been around for a while. I mean, it has been around for a while, maybe like the past year or so. But what's new, I guess, is we're delving into the territory of, okay, now this is actually starting to become a marketable thing where you're putting your dead relatives online. And that to me is scary.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
So there's a lot of discourse online at the moment about these two different levels of thought of like, this is obviously evil of AI generated deceased people, and that being marketed. And then there's obviously people like Jake Paul that go, get with the times, like this is happening, go and do it.
Really?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Why? I don't understand that, because I mean, going into like Reddit, which is obviously an interesting place to be. I think it's full of like some of the greatest people and some of the worst people. And so it's kind of like a really interesting place to like understand humanity a little bit deeper. But there is this really sad thread called AI is my boyfriend. And it's a whole bunch of lonely people who honestly can't find human connection through humans and are now finding it through AI. And I do think that it's a lot of hurt and lonely people that are just looking for human connection and can't find it in their immediate sphere.
Yeah. I imagine that's quite a common experience.
Yeah, and this is the easiest way to connect with anything.
Yeah.
And then they obviously have it on, like, the AI on some kind of romantic thread. And
yeah, and it's super easy. Like, and it's never gonna turn you down. It's never gonna reject you. It's like so much easier, so much safer, and it's just so easy for us as humans who are very emotional to latch onto an AI boyfriend or AI girlfriend, I guess, when it can do everything and anything that you could possibly want.
Right, except the fact that, like, relationships are not supposed to be about just fulfilling your own needs.
Yep.
There is supposed to be some level of like transaction in, like, iron sharpens iron. And like, you're going to make me better, I'm going to make you better as a human, and together we're going to like grow and do life together.
Yeah, and exactly.
And you miss out on that. You miss out on somebody opposing you, and you need somebody to oppose you.
Yeah, you need to have the
way.
two different worldviews sort of clash together and then become one, right?
Yeah.
That's
well,
where
that's in marriage. Yeah.
That's in marriage, yeah. And well, you need that in just regular life as well, honestly.
Yeah, to expand your understanding, your empathy, just general life experience. You need to just know various people of different walks of life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just become an echo chamber, and that you're just going to become an echo chamber of yourself.
Yeah.
Which is
what AI does. Yeah.
Which is comfortable, but very sad.
So yeah, that's why the topic of temptations is, I think, really relevant around the AI topic, because we as humans get so easily tempted, and so easily give in to those temptations when it's convenient, when it's easy, when it's safe, when it's no risk at all. What I mean by safe. So, yeah.
Perceived safe.
Perceived safe, yeah. And I think the real risk of AI at the moment is it becoming the ultimate source of truth.
Which,
what people think, what perceive it as the ultimate source of truth.
yes, which is crazy to me when it is a lot of the time a regurgitation of your own self.
Yeah.
So if everybody believes that what they believe is the truth, and that is the one and only truth, you've got a whole load of people living in individual silos, never branching out and uncovering more.
Yeah.
That's scary.
It is scary, yeah. I mean, it's hard to... I mean, like, I think our generation at the moment kind of sees it, and we see that it's obviously... We're growing up with this as something that's fallible. Obviously fallible. But it's the generations after us when AI starts to be used in school, when AI starts to become just a present day life on your fridge, and I'm talking about like actual, like AGI, like
I don't know what that means.
it's let me get the actual definition up. AGI is what everybody is working towards, artificial general intelligence. So that's just like if you can talk to the AI just as, you and I talk.
Like Alexa?
Kind of, but
No.
Alexa is
Hey,
still
Google.
very stilted. So like Alexa's
Right.
not there yet. Nobody thinks Alexa's there yet. Nobody even thinks ChatGPT is there yet.
Okay.
It's still derivative. Whereas like artificial general intelligence, when it can start like creating formulas that humans haven't thought of yet.
Right.
And I guess there's also what do you call it? The what's the... I don't know. I've forgotten the term for when artificial intelligence supersedes us, and what point that is. Singularity. When you reach so we're all trying to like... I guess all the AI companies are kind of trying to find AGI, and then also trying to not hit that singularity moment where AI is now above us and over us, and so we're still trying to control this at the same time. But when AGI starts to become a bigger thing, it's on everything, it's on your phone, it's like the movie Her, or it's like...
Right, I've seen that.
Or it's like Hal in Space Odyssey, or it's like Mother in Alien.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All of these
you're
things.
actually helping me a lot.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of AIs from movies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And when it becomes like that, where...
I think that the scary thought is considering that people might actually believe it when it says it has feelings. So it saying, it feels this, so it feels sad because it knows out of like a regurgitation of all the information that it's perceived from like other people in the world that, and, just information on the internet, that if this thing happens, then the ultimate normal reaction would be to be sad from it. And so if that thing happens to the AI in some way, it'll know that it has to be sad.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually feel that sadness, but it's able to imitate it in such a realistic way that everybody's believing it.
Yeah. And
Because
then
that's what they perceive to be real.
Yeah, and at the moment, at the moment, the AI will act sad, but if you say, don't be sad, it will go like, okay, I won't be sad. But if they fine tune it enough where like it will stay sad, even if you tell it not to be sad. If they just fine tune the pushback a little bit, I think it'll be very indistinguishable.
I think that it all leads to temptation. I think that it all seems easier than to have to deal with humanity, because humanity is really hard.
Yeah, that's what I want to get into, because it's so easy for AI, and when you have AI, to literally use it as kind of like an idol. As like, in the previous, in the Old Testament, when people are praying to gods, people are praying to different idols, the Romans are praying to all these different types of gods for certain things. And right now we have all the different AIs for certain things that have been programmed to do certain things. And so like if we want more money, or say we want to create corn, right? Like there's lots of different AIs to do these kinds of things and drive you deeper down the hole of temptation.
Right. Which is almost an avoidance of reality. Like that's what I think a lot of temptation is. Think drugs, think eating too much, think like avoiding doing the right thing. It's kind of avoiding the truth or avoiding reality. Like, it is temptation to like not to lie.
Yeah, but it's not just because like there are people right now that they use AI. They know that AI is a tool, but they're still relying on it in order to get more money, or like they're using it to facilitate their own idols that they worship, I guess. So like more money, more women, more food. I don't know. Like, you know,
Right.
it's so they're still using it as a tool to give into the temptations that they have right now.
In an easier way, in a more intense way.
Yeah, more
Okay.
intense way. That's also a good way of just saying it as well.
Right.
Because at your fingertips, like, you wouldn't know. Like, it probably helps a lot of people to gamble, helps a lot of people to like use the stock market, and like, it's removing the friction of, well, what if it's not safe? You know, so like especially with corn usage. I'm saying corn because like that's otherwise we'll get demonetized when we're not monetized anyway. But we're gonna get this whole thing will be flagged. But yeah, like corn usage.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why people say it.
Oh,
You just
I
get
thought
it?
you were literally talking about corn.
No.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell me these things. I said I'm technologically illiterate, and you're just like talking about corn, and I'm literally in my head just like the production of corn, and there's AI that's helping people with that. Okay.
Well, let's say lust, right?
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Lust and corn. I got it.
Yeah. There's people right now that the barrier of watching or looking at corn has been removed because it's not harming anybody. It's not
Right.
technically harming anybody.
Technically.
Yeah, it's harming yourself, but like I think in our secular world, harming yourself is not seen as bad. Hence the rise in euthanasia.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So
Blown my mind a little bit with the corn thing, so I'm still catching up. Okay.
and I don't know. Yeah, I just think there's a lot to this topic. I don't know where to start with it, so I'm like kind of relying on you to.
Okay.
I've just thrown and shotgunned a whole bunch of like information at you.
Well, I think it's a good place to like go back to like the opposite of all that. So like this is temptation. This is where temptation leads, and AI is something that can help people be tempted.
Temptated.
I'm very sick. I've had a very sick week. This
Yeah.
is my best day. This is the most productive thing I've done all week.
Praise God.
Okay. Praise God. Okay, yeah. So that's AI can help people be tempted even further. Going back, what's the opposite of that? Well, the fruits of the Spirit.
Yeah.
And abiding in God and staying with God. You're going to... It's not that like being tempted is a bad thing. I don't think that being tempted is a bad thing. It's giving into that temptation that is a bad thing.
Yes, and that is biblical.
Biblical.
Yeah, that's well, the most famous example is Jesus on being tempted by Satan.
Right.
Yeah, so Jesus, obviously, the most perfect being in the world, got tempted. So if you're being tempted, obviously that's fine. It's just if you give into it.
Right.
Okay.
But I think that there's a lot of people that like beat themselves up over that. I think that I've spent a lot of my life like beating myself up over like when I was kind of in a period where I was really struggling with my ADHD and I didn't understand that I had ADHD, and I was like very young and I was very clearly like self-medicating to work out what to do. And I would there was like a small period of time where I would like want to get something done, and so I was actually using alcohol to help me with that, and I would get tempted to, and then I would give in, and then I would have a sip, but I wouldn't go, oh, I only had a sip today, I didn't have like more than that. I would be like, oh, I gave in, I'm terrible, that's going to be the rest of my days ruined, the rest of my week's ruined, I'll try again tomorrow. But like I was down on myself, and I think that when you're tempted, it's really easy to go into that like further. It's almost
It's a shame spiral.
Yeah.
And then you go like, oh, I've delved into it, so I might as well just continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that there's also like that, I think it's got like that scarcity mindset of saying that you're not going to give into it tomorrow. Oh, so you can have as much as you want today.
Yeah.
And then you end up giving into it further. And then tomorrow when you give up again, ultimately you end up going further down that spiral.
Yeah.
It's a really dangerous place to be. And I think that it also just breeds contempt.
Yeah. And that's, I'm not sure, because that's the whole saying of like sin begets sin, right?
Right.
Like when you have that first sip of alcohol, go down the shame spiral, and then you have another sip of alcohol and you have more and you go like, yeah, exactly what you just said. And then you get so far down that like you think it's impossible to get back up.
Yeah.
And I guess that's exactly what I feel like as Christians we see as the problem with AI, which is like there are certain things you can do with AI that most regular people, like even just 20 years ago, wouldn't be able to do. And so as soon as you delve into that and some of the horrific stuff you can do with it, as soon as you delve into it once, that shame spiral is going to spiral you. And it's like, and you're diving deep into that hole.
Well, I think that that's really the scary thing for me is that I don't think that people can carry the weight of their own sin. I think that there's a reason why people can lie and then keep lying and then keep lying and keep lying. It's because they turn, they think that their sin is not very big.
Yeah.
And they keep telling themselves it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Because if they turned back and they looked at all the things that they had done and it was the big deal that it actually is, it has hurt the people in front of them, then they would have to carry the weight of that.
They have to confront it.
Yeah, and you can't. You can't. And that's why you need Jesus to carry it for you. It's so heavy. It's so dark. And when you do turn to Jesus and you turn away from sin and you're able to see those things that you've done, I think Jesus really gives you a lot of grace and ends up helping you through and giving you a little bit more and making you understand things over a longer period of time. I naturally am like tempted.
You said it again.
I've said it again. I've said it so many times. Tempted by everything. I think that I am a natural just addict. I think that comes with the ADHD. It means that I am always tuned in to what is my master. So if it is, I can tell pretty quickly because I get pretty like stuck in something. So if it's alcohol that day, it's because I've had more than like 3 standard drinks and I have like my limit and I cut myself off. But once I go past that and I start to feel a bit like tiddly, I'm just like, now I'm not doing what is best for me. When I'm online shopping and I'm doing that for, an hour, that's too long. Like that's too long. I'm now just like enjoying spending money. Like I can go online, I can get the things that I need. I've already worked those out. You don't need to be browsing on the internet like for that long. So I am a natural tempted person. I think everybody is to some extent.
Yeah.
But I feel like I get very ingrained in like whatever I'm doing. I get hyper focused. So, and that can be from every temptation. So I'm either turning back to God or I'm doing something like bad for me. It's kind of one or the other. And so it becomes very obvious to me when I'm abiding in God because I'm doing what he would want me to do, or I'm doing the opposite.
Yeah, you're doing.
And because I live in that moment of not like having that inner monologue and just kind of doing the next thing. I'm either doing the wrong thing or the right thing. It's very black and white to me.
I see. Yeah. I guess a lot of people don't really have that option because a lot of people, they do, they like kind of blaspheme the Spirit. That's what blaspheming the Spirit is when you turn away from the Holy Spirit and it's like, and its convictions, and you say the Holy Spirit is bad actually, in your heart. That's what people, right. That's what it means when you blaspheme the Holy Spirit. That's the one thing that you can't be forgiven of because you've hardened your heart so much that you can't even hear the Holy Spirit or you're actively turning away from the Holy Spirit.
Right. Okay. I have like an example of that. I probably did that this week if I had kept on going the way I'd been going because I was sick all week and I had like that terrible flu and coughing, couldn't breathe and it was horrific.
Yeah.
I gave myself lenience to watch The Real Housewives. Okay. Now, we all know that whatever we do the most becomes like part of who we are. So if I'm listening to like Joyce Meyer, I'm going to start saying like there's joy in the house of the Lord. But if I'm listening to The Real Housewives, I'm going to be telling you off continuously and being overly dramatic about a lot of things. And
I did notice that this week, actually.
I really wanted that cookie and you did not get it for me.
I didn't want it.
And I cried.
Yeah.
And a tantrum. That's embarrassing. We shouldn't put that in. Oh, well, it's in. Anyway, so, and now I've lost my train of thought. That was what I was doing all week, was watching The Real Housewives. Now, I know that that's bad for me. I know it's bad for my spirit. I know it's bad for like my soul. And I kind of have a lenience to watch like a few because they're my girls, you know? So I like to watch a little bit. And that feels okay. But once I watch, I think 3 episodes in a row, that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And I watched it all week. I woke up. I watched it. I slept. I woke up. I watched it. I slept. I ate. I watched it again. I went through the entire couple of seasons of Real Housewives, which is not good. But I got to, like, I was very, very sick. And I felt that God gave me a lot of lenience there because I was so sick. But I woke up this morning feeling okay. And I went, am I going to log into church because I was still a bit too sick to go to church? Or am I going to watch The Real Housewives? And I can feel myself opening up the iPad to want to watch The Housewives and going, actually, I don't feel like that lenience and that grace is there anymore.
Yeah.
And I felt like the need to pray, the need to watch a sermon, to praise God, to pray with you, just to really like set my week up in a way that is more focused on God and is not giving into temptation. However, if I have made that decision, I would be taking that step forward towards temptation and letting that guide my week. And I think that that does harden your heart, in which it's harder each day to come back from. And that's where there's strength in neuroplasticity and like habit forming and doing disciplines and doing those things repetitively in a positive direction. It reinforces, you know, yourself to abide in God. But when you're doing that in the opposite way towards your temptations, you're reinforcing that hardening of your heart.
Yeah. And it's, and you don't want to be a slave to sin. And I think a lot of people are, because the gate or the path to God is very, very narrow. And I think I find that I find that path super narrow right now, because anything you do that's for your own worldly desires, which can be as small as like I am hungry, is that can lead you down that shame spiral,
Right?
You know, or so it's I think it's really important to know like what you are a slave to, what you could possibly become a slave to, so you know that
I could be a slave to everything.
Yeah. And I'm kind of similar. Like when I get addicted to something, or when I like start playing
GTA.
I was playing GTA for a bit too much this week.
Yeah.
I get really into it for a very small amount of time. And that small amount of time is like a few days, and that's just continuously playing that game.
Yeah.
Which is not a great game to play as a Christian, but you know, it's whatever. I find it fun. But that's whole Christian purity culture. I'm not too sure what. I mean,
I think that there are things that some people can do that some other people can't do. And I think that the road gets narrower the further you get into your faith and the further that you do go into ministry as well. So the fact that we're going on to this podcast, as soon as that started to happen, my road got narrower.
Yeah.
It's interesting, the things that have led me up to even doing this podcast this year. I have become a lot more ingrained in a lot of my disciplines throughout this year leading up to us doing this. And I can see that didn't happen throughout the rest of my life, and I was being prepared for this moment. And I think that you have to really be like moving in your disciplines and be going down that narrow path and be waiting on God and abiding in God, and then like the fruits of the Spirit will come through after that.
Yeah, and I think what's important to note is that you can't do it on your own. Like
Yeah.
you have to pray for your faith.
Yes.
You have to pray for your faith to be strengthened. And I think one thing that really helped us was praying, God, help us love what you love and hate what you hate.
I hated that prayer. I love that prayer, but I hated that
Yeah.
prayer because like as soon as I started to see the fruits of that, I wasn't like a fan of it.
Yeah, it opens your eyes a lot.
Yeah.
And if you pray that earnestly, like, and if you're open to what God is going to place on your heart with that prayer, it's very freeing. It's like, now I know for certain what God likes.
And what God doesn't.
And certain topics, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, not everything.
No, but it for you
Yeah.
as well. I think that one of your temptations has been anger and moving into anger really, really deeply. And I know that when you were praying that actively, you started to see me a lot clearer and the way that I display joy. And your anger just like left you
Yeah.
in that prayer.
It's because I replaced it, like the anger sort of got replaced with sadness. It got replaced with grief a little bit.
In what way?
Well, it's like, why am I doing this? Why am I making you feel that way? And then also with with like a certain topic, like abortion, say, it's like, instead of anger, it's, oh, everyone's just a human who's trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And what's important to be distinctive about, as a Christian especially, we are not on the left or the right. We are also not on, anti-abortion or abortion. We are for loving people as much as possible. And the camps that people are in, it's like, we have to love both of those people equally, but we can hate the action. We can hate the actions, because that's what God does. God hates the actions. He hates the evil that happens. But yeah, we are, so we have to feel sadness for the people that are, doing acts of evil, depending on what that evil is. And I think we all have to pray for, tell us what that evil is, God, so that we can actively not take part of it, and also actively maybe potentially fight against it, if that's what we're called to do.
And what a powerful prayer to pray to understand truth and to know truth and recognize it. I think that was one of the things that came to me, is understanding truth, and the different people online that started like just speaking to me personally as soon as I started praying to love what you love and to hate what you hate, God. I suddenly understood truth, where I could recognize it. I could be like, this person reeks of truth, and I'm going to follow them, and I'm going to follow some of the things that they say, and I can trust what they're saying because I can recognize the truth in what they're saying. And it was the same with other people. And then I could recognize like untruths. So where somebody was very convincing and I was just like, I know that what they're saying is what they believe, but it's not truth.
Yeah.
That is a lie.
Yeah.
Even though they believe it, and they're very convincing, and I have a lot of like admiration for somebody who's really convicted in what they're saying, even if it's wrong. But it's not true.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to recognize that as a Christian. You need to be able to recognize Jesus. And in order to do that, you do need to be in your Bible. You do need to know Jesus. You do need to be spending time with him.
Yeah, and I find
and praying for that.
Yeah, and well, I want to talk to about like how Christians online that are so stern in giving the law. Like God has just look at the divorce grace that God has given us. So in the law of Moses, it says that you can get divorced for all of these different reasons. And then when Jesus comes, he says, do not get divorced only under adultery and, what do you say, abuse? That's what you said. I'm not sure where that is.
No, but I'm going by the Catholic Church's teaching.
Right.
So like...
Yeah, so they've added on too.
I This is not at the forefront of my knowledge right now.
Yeah, anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're not too sure. But yeah,
I know that
adultery.
the only reasons that I would divorce you or separate from you are for cheating and abuse.
So, yeah, adultery and, yeah, say abuse, because the Catholic Church is saying that. But what Jesus said was, I allowed you to get divorced under all these reasons because we know humans are fallible. Essentially, is what he's saying.
Right, but it's not in God's perfect design.
But it's not in God's perfect design, exactly.
Yeah.
So there is the law, but there's also grace.
Yes.
So I feel like that's what a lot of Christians, they don't realize that people that aren't Christian, or even Christians that you do know, like they're fallible humans. Like there needs to be grace, and you can try to impose the law, but like you've been given grace for whatever you're doing as well. You need to remember that, right?
Yeah.
So like give grace to others just as God has given grace to you. It's forgive others just as God has forgiven you. It's exactly what that is. And those that are so interested in imposing the law
Are you referencing anything in particular?
I'm referencing like divorce to a degree.
But something that anybody has said?
Yeah, there's a lot of discourse online about misogynist, about how women need to be gentle and quiet and whatever, and submissive is the word, exactly. And I find that I don't find what they're saying wrong. I find their definitions wrong.
Right.
Which is what a lot of people like to use. They like to use the same words, but different definitions and the wrong exegetical idea of what was actually being said.
Well, it's kind of like, I think that you've really got to go into like the first initial, like the words and what they originally meant.
Yeah.
And what words are used when and where. And so when God created Eve as a helper, and people say, well, she's just a helper to men. It's like the only time that word is used as well is about God being a helper to humans. And so if that word is used for women and only for God in the way that they're created, women are created. I'm butchering this, but I found that a really beautiful. We'll have to find that and put that up. Well, going back to like the misogynists online.
Yeah, I don't want to use the word misogynist, but I want to use the word supposed Christians that are not forgiving. They're not. They don't give grace. They know they don't. They want to impose the law in a figurative sense, or they want to make it so strict that in order to be a Christian, you have to do these things. And I find that
that's suffocating, and I think it's really suffocating for women to be put in such a tight box. And you don't want to use the word misogynist. I get that. But it does tend to be very strong views from men. I haven't heard it a lot from women. I have heard it from some women, but a lot of the time it is about like women from men. And, it does seem like a standard that women can't particularly live up to.
Yeah.
Because we're not made.
You have mouths. You're allowed to talk.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah. I feel like we're not made to just like sit back and let you do everything. It's not giving us enough credit.
And it's also limiting God, right? It's like it's saying that God cannot use women to do and say the things that God wants to be said.
I always love the example of like Joyce Meyer in that, how she really tried to follow that. She really tried to get her husband to be like, they were being called into ministry, so he had to lead, and it failed terribly. Like it failed really badly. And then you can see her ministry is now obviously with her at the forefront thriving. And for a very long time, it has helped a lot of people.
Yeah. And I mean, it must be said, Joyce Meyer does fall into the prosperity gospel a little bit.
I think that she's on the edge. I think she's on the edge. She's right on the edge, but she's not like full in it. I don't see her doing that. Yeah. I haven't seen her doing that as much.
Yeah.
From my point of view.
All right, so half of us recommend Joyce Meyer and half of us doesn't.
That's fair.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I think it's important to actually note that.
That's fair.
That's
That's fair. That's your perception of her.
I also think as a guy, like she doesn't ring true to me.
She's a lot of enjoying everyday life.
Yeah.
She's very much everyday small practices that can turn you back to God and can make you just have general common sense.
Yeah.
That's where she...
Well, you were watching a sermon about fruits of the Spirit from her. And like everybody can do kind things. And it's like, actually, your fruits of the Spirit come after the branch and the tree come.
She was talking specifically about how you can't have fruits of the Spirit unless they, like, you're abiding in God, and then the fruits of the Spirit actually come after.
Okay, all right, so there you go. That wasn't what I got from the first line after I walked out.
Well, that's... So you listen to one line, and you're like, nope, it's choice.
No, I think I was going to make some scrambled eggs, which we had. It was very tasty.
This is more important.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, okay. Okay, like, way off track. What happened?
I'm sick today. We can just blame that.
Yeah. So, when it comes to AI, have you ever been tempted to like look to search things up that has fed into your idolatry?
Yes. I think it has bled into my want for perfection. So I have a love of just perfection in general, you know, just things being written the exact right way that I perceive it should be written. And that means that, you know, I now have learnt to use it as a tool only to structure my thoughts. But in order for me to move through the process faster, but not for it to do the work for me, because it dumbs me down and it tells me a better way to write it, but it doesn't actually sound like my voice. It doesn't sound like me, but it does feed into this way of being like, this is the perfect way to structure a sentence. And ultimately it sounds inhuman.
Yeah.
It's not the way that I speak. So yeah, I think that writing emails, for example, that's a good example of it. Just using it to write emails, it's so impersonal. I can understand if you've got a lot of information.
Thing is, you can make it more personal, but then it sounds like you've tried to make it more personal as an email. I don't know. How is that feeding into your idolatry?
I think it feeds into like how I perceive other people perceive me.
Right. Okay.
So I want them to perceive me as, because I already write like ChatGPT. The amount of like times
I was thinking about that.
You have read my emails, like I got really pissed at the start of ChatGPT because when it came out, because every single thing that I was writing, because I, you know, would write like legal contracts and I would be writing like just general like legalese throughout things that we have to write for work. And you'd be like, you need to fix this. Like, it sounds like ChatGPT. Like, you've obviously just ChatGPT'd this. And I'm like, I wrote this. Like, I wrote every word. I'm really insulted.
Yeah.
Because you said that I've just like, I spent like days on this to make it perfect. And then ultimately you're like, you've just put in a bunch of stuff and it's spewed out in a minute. So it like was really insulting to me. But at the same time, if I use it, it like makes it that step more perfect. And because I already have that like perfection type language. So now I only use it for punctuation.
Oh yeah.
Or to order my thoughts.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
That's it. Like and spelling, because my spelling's trash. But like other than that, I don't. And I still get my spelling and punctuation checked off by Adelaide. Because sometimes like she doesn't like the way that ChatGPT does it.
Yeah, nobody does. It depends. You have to use it well.
I don't know punctuation and grammar. I like clearly failed like year 7 English, but like thrived in year 12. From my point of view, it is idolatry because you can feed into a certain version that you know of yourself to be, like that you want yourself to be, or you want yourself to be perceived. So let's say you're using it for songwriting, or you're using it, you're like, I think it, like let's say you use it for like writing poetry or writing songs. You're using it even just to work out words that rhyme better with this word. Ultimately, I think you're using it as a tool, but you're taking away that like thought process of working through it. and then ultimately
that like-
you come up with a better solution.
Isn't this the same argument as the calculator?
like
Like when the calculator came
no,
out.
because it's about creation. It's about creation. You're taking away the ability to create, which I think is like a God-given gift. You're not kind of like moving through the motions.
Yeah.
You're taking away the ability to create, and you're giving that away. And so you're not only like diminishing your own process, but you are also pumping yourself up as I've done the best that I can do. So you're kind of like both like
you're
stifling
feeding your ego.
You're feeding your ego and stifling yourself at the same time, and
That's
your
so
ability to
interesting.
do it better next time.
That's actually really interesting. Yeah, creativity. Creativity being one of God's only gifts. ChatGPT at the moment, or any AI, is derivative of
What
humans,
already exists.
Yeah, what already exists in humans' creativity. And I guess, that's what the idolatry it can feed into is feeding your own self-creativity by using ChatGPT.
To pump
That's
out
what
more.
people do with image generation. People online, what they do is they want to copyright and trademark prompts now, because if you have the right prompt, you can create images on ChatGPT or whatever, or DALL-E, and then what spews out is like a beautiful image, and then they go like, that was my prompt. You need to credit me because that was my prompt.
That is so lazy.
It's feeding people's ego.
That's so lazy. Sorry, my ear's so itchy. That's so lazy.
Yeah, it's feeding people's ego entirely, where they think they're the ones creating. It's people that have not taken the time and toil to feed their creativity, to feed their critical thought, and like look at a gift that somebody else has, and then covet it. They want it. They lust after that gift. And then when it's finally just given to them on a platter, they're like, I've done this. I'm just as good. I'm just as good as that person over there that spent 40 years of their life figuring out how to draw. People looking up the right way.
It's interesting because it can also be used as a tool in order to help people do things that they would never have been able to do before. So like you could, outpour all of this creation technically by cutting corners in certain spaces. And maybe that's okay. Maybe you're not made to entirely do that, and maybe use it as a tool during the process. But if you're using it as a tool to help you like get to the next stage, let's say with music, okay? Like I write all my songs, I sing all my songs, I can write up the chords, but when it comes to music production, I'm not as good.
Yeah.
So outsourcing that, if I don't have somebody like that can help me with that, maybe it can help me get to that level where I can.
Yeah.
And maybe that is okay, but only to a point. I actually think if you're like continuously doing it as a lazy endeavor, it's like you're not reaching your full potential. You're not, even just to communicate and connect with somebody else to be able to make something new. Like creation should not just be for creation's sake.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the problem with commerciality nowadays, where perfection, the idol that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where at the moment our discourse and our mainstream discourse is all about what the end product is.
Yeah.
What is the end? Is the end product perfect? That's why K-pop has gotten so popular. It's why Taylor Swift has gotten so popular. It's like the
highly manufactured
and
cultivated images. Just
why is the Mandarin like this? Like, this is the most perfect Mandarin. It started with our fruits, and now it's moving toward our creativity. And then it's also like IVF, things like that, where it's what is the end product going to be? I want my end product to be exactly how I want it. It
doesn't matter about everything else in between.
Yeah, it doesn't matter about anything else in between, nor does it matter what God wants.
Right.
It's like, what do I perceive as perfect?
That's really interesting, because you might be on this journey to be able to, let's say, write songs. It might not be for the end product. Like, God might just want you to work through your emotions, work through your trauma, and do it in a creative way. And that's been really meaningful for you, but it's not actually made to be shared. Like, it might just be something that's just for you and a gift from God to you if you were to take that gift. But you don't want to. You want to, like, reach what, let's say, the world wants you to do, which is be famous and get a song out and be an artist. But maybe that's not actually what God wants.
Yeah. Again, it's like coveting what other people have.
Yeah.
And
that becomes the idol.
And it's looking for affirmation from the outside world, when Jesus specifically told us that we should be hated by the world and we should not be part of the world.
Yeah.
We are not of the world, we're in the world.
In the world, not of the world. Yeah, sorry, you said it the other way and it got confused. Yeah, no, it's right.
Yeah. I think that's really interesting. Yeah, but the perfection idea, and that's why I love. So let's delve into movies a little bit. That's why I love Paul Thomas Anderson. That's why I told you go watch that one movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know what it's called, but Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, the most recent one.
Yeah.
That I just watched and I don't know the name of.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great.
Great.
That was great. No, it was beautifully done. Because it is a bit more guerrilla style.
Yeah, it's a bit more guerrilla style, and that's why I hate Netflix movies when it's like, say, like when it has Ryan Reynolds and it has Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Your specialty is lighting, specifically. Like, you have a very, like, beautiful niche in, like, knowing what is good lighting and what is bad lighting. And I love watching you watch a movie and be like, this is so terrible. It looks perfect if you watch one frame, but you're just like, the lighting's off there, this doesn't match up here. Like, you're very technical with it, and I love watching you pull that apart. And it's always a Netflix. Like,
is it always Netflix?
It's always
because it's all I can focus on, and that's
because they're trying to pump them out so fast, and they're trying to be so perfect and, like, uniform that they actually don't end up having any artistry within the different shots, and using certain shots to tell the story all the way through.
Yeah,
it's
and that's why one of my favorite movies is Magnolia by Paul Thomas Anderson. The way Paul Thomas Anderson uses 35mm film and 16mm film, and
we
the way
watch that tonight.
Yeah, we should. But the authenticity, the rawness, the imperfections of Magnolia, where some shots are out of focus, but they were chosen because of the performance. Either that, or they just, like, didn't want to redo it. Like, maybe they didn't have budget. But either way, he used those shots.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's somebody who knows the art, who is there for the art and only for the art. Who cares if the end product is technically imperfect? Right. But that's what makes it perfect in my eyes. That's why I love... there are some shots in Interstellar that, like, I'm like, but that's why I love it, because it's real.
Right.
You know?
I think I decided that I loved your eye when you know how much I hated Adam Sandler. Because of just I just like his sense of humor in some things. That's all I'd seen, and I wasn't a fan. I just was never a fan. And then you showed me Punch Drunk Love, and I was like, he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Punch Drunk Love, same thing. Paul Thomas Anderson.
It's fantastic, just the way that the shots are used to be able to tell the story in a way that is not uniform, or it's just not perfect. Like, there's this one shot in Punch Drunk Love where he's talking on the phone, and it's like the camera gets bored with what he's saying, and it's just like slowly, like, pans away from him, and he's just, like, focused on kind of a nothing area because it's bored by this kind of, like, repeating, rambling conversation. And it's just the perfect shot, and it doesn't last too long, but it was so deliberately done in order to tell the story and make you feel a certain way. Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, beautiful film. Paul Thomas Anderson can't miss in my head. I haven't seen the new one, but...
it was great. It was good.
But I guess that's... Like, I don't think AI at the moment knows how to do imperfections, which is amazing, which is great.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a human calling card.
Well, I think it comes to conversations like this in which we're not having a conversation where you talk and then I talk and then you talk and then I talk. We're thinking on the spot. We're continuing to process as we go along. We haven't processed it all and then it's going to unfold. It's we're processing as we go along. And I think that people will watch that and will want that because that's human interaction. I don't think that that's going to go away. I think that people that probably delve more into AI and away from God are probably going to seek that a bit more further in that direction.
Seek that perfection.
Yeah. But people who, I think there's going to become a bit more of a stark like divide between people that are seeking that perfection and people who are seeking that imperfection and that humanity and the realness and the truth and just God's beauty in imperfections.
Yeah. And like, and we said this before, but like God's beauty shines through stories.
Yeah.
And stories need to be unexpected, imperfect, coincidental, but also random. Like that's what everyone's story is like, right?
Yeah.
And I think if when that sort of authenticity shines through, I think people know it. People can see it. People can feel it.
Can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's feeling it. And I've had this debate with a friend where, like, not a debate, but he and I very vehemently disagree about whether movies will be fully AI eventually, which I think there will be. I think the argument was, I said it would never happen, but I think I maybe renege on that. But I think there will be movies that are fully made by AI, but they will be Pixar-esque, Netflix-esque consumerism movies. And nobody wants that.
I think that you'll be able to tell that they're just pumped out a lot faster without as much deep thought.
Well, that's already what's happening with Pixar. Like, the new Pixar movies look awful. Like, there's no real thought behind it. It's made for money, and I think AI is just another way for it to become even faster. And there will be... I don't think Disney or Pixar will ever go into making a fully AI film, but I think a studio will. A certain studio will, and a certain studio will perfect it, and it'll be popular for a moment. But I still think there are movies, especially now when everybody thought the cinema industry was dying because Marvel, DC was becoming so popular. But then, what are we seeing now? We're seeing a resurgence in smaller indie films that people are appreciating. Say there's like Sinners, or say there's
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
That's a gorgeous film.
And there's also like the Raka Raka Boys made that horror film. A whole bunch of horror films, and a whole bunch of action films that are coming out now that are made a bit more indie-like.
Right.
And there's also stuff like the new Ryan Gosling movie with The Martian, same author as The Martian.
I haven't seen that one.
I think it hasn't come out yet, but that looks great. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out that's not superhero stuff now. And I think
Well, I think that's because what always hits in the end, like, you think of the greatest, like, Oscar-winning movies of all time, generally there's been a lot of humanity in them, or they've told a story in a different way that's kind of, like, hit your heart, and you've gone, oh. Like, remember when Parasite, like, won?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, wow, like, a country from, another country won a film.
Country from another country.
People are like, wow, other countries do films? And like, yes. Yes, they do.
Yeah.
But it was just showing something that other people in our, like, area of the world hadn't seen in a really raw and, like, creative way.
Maybe.
You didn't think so?
I don't think it's that. I think it could have been. I think a lot of people get tricked as well.
I liked that film.
So, yeah, I like Parasite. I wouldn't say it's, like, one of my top 20.
No, I wouldn't say it's one of my top 20, but I did enjoy it. And I did, like, but thinking about, like, Oscar winning films generally, it's because they hit a point in the just general sphere.
You're going to
agree to disagree?
I'm going to agree to disagree because I think that has been exploited.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. I'm thinking
It
about
hits
like
somewhere because they've forced it down your freaking throat.
Okay,
that like this is an
no, no, no.
emotional film. This is heartfelt. This is authentic.
that's also true.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the Oscar films that I enjoy.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
because I choose good films.
Yeah.
But the ones that like I have watched that I've really enjoyed, it's because they have really
It's telling
hit-
a message. We
No.
have something to say.
No, not those ones. It's the ones that have
Yeah,
that
that's Oscar winnings though.
have that have shown a part of humanity that I wasn't privy to. I would never be privy to if I hadn't watched it through this film, and it felt real to me in some way. There are many films that haven't won awards that do this. I'm just saying that like there are some Oscar winning ones that have.
Okay, so you've totally walked back your statement.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Okay, yeah. No. Okay, well, my point is
I don't like the Oscars. I don't like those types. Especially
No, that's
I don't like the festivals. Like I've
well, that's fair. They're all like infiltrated, and if you know the right people, you're going to get your film shot and it's shown and stuff. And
Yeah.
they're all kind of
it's cool as like an indie because like I've had films go to like the biggest ones here in Melbourne, and also I got a film shown in Berlinale, but it's like
wait, where?
Berlinale. It's the biggest German festival.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it's like that was before everything else, and now I see it as it's like
It's its own idol.
I mean, like there's a whole term called Oscar bait, right?
Yeah.
Which is like films that are made to go to the Oscars. There's Oscar season.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I
and
agree. I'm just sort of thinking about like the average viewer. They're like honestly, no, I'm walking back my statement every time,
Yeah.
but I agree with you at the same time. I'm sorry.
So there is a niche in which these films are always going to be there, of course. But I'm talking about the mainstream. I'm talking about the popular culture. What are people going to be talking about? Because those Oscar bait ones, like nobody talks about those. They talk about it the cinephiles talk about it for a while, but it's like the Predator. It's like like Alien. I just watched those two things. Like those it's like guerrilla style, made with a minimal budget, fresh idea at the time, totally new things happening that are now part of the mainstream
Right.
and become a major franchise. See, that's the stuff that I think is coming back, and I think we'll never lose. We'll never lose.
Yeah, I don't think we'll ever lose it, but I do think that we'll lose people. I think that circle will become smaller. I think it will become. Do you want to know why though? Because I think that people basically think that the industry is dying, and so they're scared.
I think so.
I think that there are
yeah.
people in the industry
Well,
that don't like you and me, right? We have a relationship with God. We know that we've got our calling in this industry. We're like, well, this is what we're doing, whether we fail or we fly, right? But there are people that see AI and go, this is scary. My job's not going to be available in a couple of years. I'm going to find a plan B.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll be losing people potentially from the industry
Right.
that could be part of that circle of really incredible filmmakers because they don't want to be in that space of AI.
Yeah, but then we also have this other space where we don't have to rely on Hollywood anymore. We don't have to
Yeah.
rely on big budgets. We don't have to rely on $100,000 cameras anymore.
Yeah, and that's awesome. That makes accessibility for like just the common man.
Exactly. And I think that's where creativity thrives, and that's where things can break into the mainstream because now we also have the internet. I think we've had music artists that have broken into the mainstream because of SoundCloud. And that was a fairly new thing. That was massive when that happened, Chance the Rapper. And I think that's starting to happen with movies now. And I don't think AI will ever have a part in that scene.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of a part. There's like AI films that are like being made, but it's like that will never break into the mainstream through that stream at all, ever.
Right.
It's like the people that appreciate indie films appreciate it for being indie made on a guerrilla style budget. And that will never change.
Right.
So I'm a bit more optimistic about the movie scene than I think a lot of people are.
Well, you're a very particular person as well, though. You have your pulse on everything that is new and upcoming, but you still do camcorder style videos so that we can like say hello to our children in VHS when they exist. So
yeah, but it's like
you kind of
it's a modern
use-
VHS. I just use a camcorder.
Yeah,
Like a-
but like
yeah.
you like straddle the far past.
Hmm.
Like you still listen to CDs and records, and you have like old cassette tapes
Yeah.
that like you keep on buying from the op shop.
Yeah, that's not a. I mean, that's a pretty Melburnian thing to do that.
But that's like one side. That's that a lot of people don't do because there's a lot of easier ways of doing things. But you also straddle the new world and know that quite well.
Yeah.
Me on the other hand, I just avoid it out of anxiety.
Yeah.
And I just create in my own space.
Yeah, the mic isn't.
Sorry. Yeah. I just like avoid it out of anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. And I think
That's my space though.
I think a lot of people, a lot of people will strive for the convenient, but I think I guess I've already got the mentality of like I don't like the convenience as much, and that's what sort of what AI gives you is just a whole bunch of convenience and tempting to be to make things more convenient at the behest of your own owning of things.
Well, I think that's what God gives you is like the ability to recognize that this isn't good for you
Yeah.
and that you are losing yourself in making it more like life just more convenient.
Yeah, you're outsourcing everything. You're outsourcing yourself. You're outsourcing whether you own this track or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're like name slapped on it on the end. Did you actually create it? Is it actually a part of you?
Yeah, you know deep down it's not really part of you.
Yeah. But you don't want to admit that,
Yeah.
which is sad.
So, I don't know. This has been a weird conversation, but it's been going on for way too long now, so we should probably stop.
Okay.
Um,
You can cut it right down, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Somehow.
maybe. I'm not sure we got anywhere about the temptation thing, but it's an interesting episode at least. Maybe, I don't know. I just kind of talked.
The stress that just came over your face.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. I think that I think it's a really stressful conversation for people to have. I think that there's a lot of uncertainty in it, is in the way that the world's going to go. But I think that if you are just relying on God and abiding in God, He will show you what you should be doing. I feel very secure in the film industry and what, like, the direction that we're going in the entertainment industry. And I don't even know what that is. And it's because God has shown me that that's our calling, and that whether we fail or fly, it's what God wants us to do. And we're just going to do that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of peace in that. And so I think that if you abide in God, you'll be safe and secure, even if the rest of the world seems like it's just filled with uncertainty and temptation and struggle.
Yeah.
And the fruits of the Spirit will come out if you're abiding in God.
Yeah. I think I don't think there's nothing new under the sun with the AI stuff. Like, this is just like streaming. This is just like direct to digital. And this is just like...
It's just the next iteration of it.
It's just the next iteration of convenience and outsourcing and corporations owning more of ourselves. So I think that as long as you keep a good head about you, as long as you cling to the things that you yourself have control over, such as your creativity, such as your
spirit, your soul.
Your spirit, your soul, your ability to think critically,
to be disciplined, to do the work.
Yeah, and God. Like, you can't control God, but you can control you're going back to Him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the world would be okay. It's not as bad as I don't think it's as bad as what people are saying it's going to be, but I do think it offers another sort of avenue that is a very dark avenue, and it can lead to very dark legislature as well, especially in the secular world. So that's what us as Christians have to watch out for, with moral relativism on the rise. That because it's not harming anybody, it's still harming ourselves and it's still harming our souls.
Yeah.
That is important to know. That
Yes.
you need to guard your souls. You need to guard the things you can control, I guess.
Yeah.
You know? And with this new AI push, people are going to be pushing for their own dark agendas.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is scarier than AI itself.
Yes. Well, I think that's another conversation if you get into morals being relative, and if you can If you think it's right, then it's right. That's just untrue.
Yeah.
It's just not true. And there are some things that are 100% wrong, and there are things that are right, and we need to know where our truth lies, and that's in the Word, in the Bible, in God, in Jesus.
Exactly. And the problem is we don't live in a vacuum chamber. So the actions we do, it's the butterfly effect. The actions we do affect our mental and affect our spirit and affect the way we interact with other people.
And generationally.
And thus that affects everything else.
Yeah, everybody around us as well, and generationally.
Yeah.
Can affect your children, the next generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does matter. What you do does matter.
And what you consume does matter, even if it's just affecting yourself. Perceivably, from your own little, small, tiny little bubble worldview.
Yes. And that's important.
It's not just affecting yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, shall we end?
We shall end.
Yeah. Do you want to do a song or no?
I'm not the greatest at singing today. What do you want me to sing about?
Joy to the world.
The joy of the Lord is my strength. The joy of the Lord is my strength. I don't know the words. The joy of the Lord is my strength. You should probably get rid of this. The joy of the Lord is my strength, because I don't know the words.